Greetings, citizens of the internet. Well, I come here today to make a video that I've thought about making for a little while now. Heat their homes. I had been stalling making the video, and then our heat stopped working. I noticed that at about 3 a.m., so I decided to use my wealth of experience being cold to maybe help other people stay warm. So today, we're going to be talking about strategies to keep warm when you are cold. Whereas my credentials, they are sleeping in snow for 2 months in the high alpine desert of Utah during, it wasn't March, maybe it was March. And among other things, living in a slum house with some people who could not afford to pay their part of the heat, and our landlord would turn the heat off in January in Vermont, which is illegal. I now know. So, anyway, we will begin with practical tips. Candles. Candles are good if you have a small space. I've heard people say that you can make a sort of space heater by out of a tea candle and like a clay flower pot. You can't just make more heat that way. That's not how it works. One candle will make the same amount of heat whether or not you put it under a teapot or not. The teapot will make the heat last longer, but it's not going to heat your space. One candle gives you about the same amount of heat in a room as one person. So if you're in a big room, you're going to need like 10 or so candles to make a big difference. If you're in a small room, it's a lot easier. I recommend getting tea candles in bulk. You can just put them in glasses if you don't want to splurge on candle holders. All right, my second practical tip is always have tea. Coffee is also good. I don't know, if you like cider, sure, why not? Hot toddies, whatever you do. But, if you have a kettle, keep it going. Also, cook things in your oven. That will add a little bit of heat to your place. I do not recommend just turning your oven on without actually cooking anything. That can go wonky. But roasting some carrots or something, or like chicken, whatever it is you care to roast, that will help at the very least a little bit. All right, now the part that I thought was going to be, that I think might be a little bit more fun, is the dressing up part. I'll figure out how I'm going to approach this, and then we will reconvene. How about that? Okay, so for your base layer, obviously, ideally, you're going to want a pair of long johns that are made of silk or merino wool. But, we're going to work with what we got, because we don't all have the money for that kind of thing. Cotton is not an ideal base layer because it's not going to keep any body heat in. Although I am wearing a cotton shirt on top, and I think these might have some cotton. These are fun. I like these a lot. This stuff is not designed for warmth, but if you have and you want your base layer to be thin enough that you can pile other layers on top of it, as I will now happily show you. All right, then you're going to want to layer on top. You're going to want to layer a t-shirt, ideally over your top layer, and over the bottom layer, a pair of pants. Heavy jeans are good, but you don't want them to be too baggy because that's not necessarily your last layer. You can, do this until you can just pile on clothes until the cows come home. That'll work. That does help. But it also, you gotta be able to layer on top, and you gotta be able to move around. So, as you can see, I'm wearing just a plain cotton t-shirt here, and heavy, just average cut men's jeans underneath that. I think it also goes without saying that hats are very good. It's not true that like 90% of your body heat escapes through your head or whatever. That's not true, but hats are very good. So, on top of the 2 layers that you have already, if you're not warm enough, pair of big, hopefully baggy, heavyweight pajama pants can go over your jeans. That's why you wanted to keep your jeans not too big. And you could, if you have like a bigger, heavier sweater, you put that on over your 2 layers. I prefer a heavy flannel. So we're getting ready now. Not cotton. Cotton is not ideal. And wool is all you really ideally you want to be using fibers that were part of another animal before, because that's sort of, it keeps them warm. So wool, leather. I really highly recommend leather, and I don't advocate buying fur new, but if you see some, or if there's like an heirloom or some shit, get you some of that, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. Oh shit! Don't neglect your feet. Your feet are very important. Just one pair of first of all, you change your socks twice a day. When you wake up and when you go to bed, if you're cold enough that you need socks. And then you're gonna want what I have. I'm very lucky. I was gifted last Christmas a pair of really nice shearling slippers. If you can get yourself some of those, that's good. Wool socks. They're an investment, but a sound investment. And this, I got this by not following the rules at a regional burn where I helped out, and it was really weird. Just some woman, very well dressed, very wealthy, obviously, just came in with 7 garbage bags full of fur coats. There was a coat drive, and everybody just walked around wearing fur coats, but I sorta did. We were supposed to give them back, and I should have given this back. I did not. I figured since it's a vest, and I'm not gonna try to justify it. Actually, that's just it was shitty to do. But if you vests are also really great. Leather vest would be good, or even vegan leather, plastic is helpful and will usually at least it will insulate you as much as leather would. And then your top layer, you're gonna want leather or some other leather, wool, something that was part of an animal that before it fell into your hands. All right, so I feel like it goes without saying that you're gonna want a space heater. If you can, I have found decent space heaters on Amazon for $25 roughly. So that's definitely worth checking out. They also look at pricing for long underwear, and cotton long underwear is better than no long underwear. Gloves are very good. Especially if you have poor circulation like me. I'm not wearing any right now, partially because our space heater is on and I have candles everywhere. Obviously you want blankets. Material matters. I don't like synthetic fleece as far as blankets are concerned. However, it is very effective in warming, partially because it will still keep you warm even if it's wet. So if you sweat at any point, it's still going to keep you just as warm. However, as the rule of it being of the material being a part of another animal before it was, factored into your day, still stands. I have a down comforter that I have never not had to kick it off in the middle of the night, no matter how cold I was. A down comforter will do you just fine. Fleece blankets also, again, avoid cotton, just because it is not very helpful with keeping you warm. If you have to do cotton, flannel is good, but fleece sheets, if you have fleece sheets, I would recommend those. So yeah, that's more or less it. Just to sort of reiterate my points, candles really do, can really help. I have used 10 to 13 candles to heat a large bedroom, and they worked really well. It does not matter what size candle, the flame is going to be the same size either way. Of course, practice fire safety. Do not leave candles unattended. I think that's it. Tea is good. Layer. You gotta layer. And vintage thrift stores for leather and fur, very good. Layer. If you can't get yourself a fabric, or clothes in a fabric that was once part of another animal, synthetic is best. Cotton is least best. I think